Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Technologist Forum. James Hicks here. Another good day to talk about technology, the business of technology, and how creators are taking advantage of that. Let's get into it, y'all. So it's been busy, right? It's always been a busy week when we talk technology, either from a enterprise side, from a consumer perspective side as well. What was it? Last week I was talking about TikTok and the ban on TikTok, the proposed ban on TikTok. Let me backtrack. Let me not put the cart before the horse, kind of thing. But that's in the works. So we'll see what happens with that. And we had a discussion about making sure that you as a creator don't build your house on something that you just rent. Make sure you actually have a mortgage, right? So in other words, don't be reliant on only one platform for your outreach to your community. Heck, this past week I saw a colleague of mine who had his 400,000 or however many subscriber channel blocked from him and was taken away from him. He had to go through a whole lot of hoops and hurdles with YouTube to get it back. But again, that was a scary thought because, again, he's worked so hard to build that. He's got the silver plaque and wakes up one morning and gets an email from YouTube saying that, hey, your site is no longer available. We've taken it down. So that's a conversation, again, back to what we were talking about last week, and again about making sure you build your content creation house on something that you actually may have the deed to and that you actually have the mortgage to. So what is good? I see folks coming in. Victor, good to see you, man. Hopefully your trip was well. I know I saw some clips from your Facebook Meta or the Meta frames. What are they called now? I got them charging over here, but I don't even remember what they're called. But hopefully they worked out well for you, man. Sammy, what is good with you, brother? I see you. Sorry, you're going to start going live more. I'm looking forward to that. So that would always be a good thing. Want to talk specifically? I see some creators coming in. I see a gang of folks coming in also on Twitter. Listen, you can leave comments over there. We have that technology now. Let's talk about the creator side. Let's talk about being diversified from a revenue perspective. Florence, good to see you. Appreciate you for being here as well. That's it. Ray-Ban Matters. See, dude, I don't know these things, right? I just buy them. I don't remember all of these things, but that's right. Ray-Ban Matters. Monetization for creators and kind of the fallacy of the YouTube partner program being the sole source of monetization. Now, and it's a weird blanket statement for you to make, I know, and a lot of folks are striving for that milestone, which is a good milestone to reach, right? It's a great milestone to reach, especially we put all this work in, we put all this effort, put this time away from friends, away from family to sit in front of some monitors and some cameras and things of that nature to build a community. Anything worth having is going to be worth waiting for. And you want to enjoy that process. You want to enjoy that journey. But I want to keep in perspective that the YouTube partner program should not be your end all to be all, especially when it comes to monetizing your activities and monetizing your efforts to your community. In all transparency, and some folks will say this, some creators, I know like a Roberto Blake will say this as well, but in all transparency, the partner program doesn't really pay all the bills, right? It pays some of the toy budget. It pays some of the additional accessories, some of the subscriptions, some of the ancillary pieces, but that should not be your primary resource, your primary source for financial restitution as a creator. Meaning, because that can fluctuate so much. That fluctuates on all of the analytics, all of the metrics, on your subscribers, on your viewers, on your watch time, and things of that nature. And every month, you can't really say that this month, this quarter, this 6 months, this year, that I'm going to get X number of dollars from being just a part of the YouTube partner program. And that is why you hear, again, like I mentioned, someone like a Roberto Blake always talking about diversifying your revenue streams. I've actually said you should have at least 10 revenue streams if you're going to be a creator. And they're different for everyone, right? So I can't say necessarily what ones that I have resonate and match and fit the needs of someone else, fit some of the needs of some of the creators on here as well. So you've got to kind of keep that in mind and really step back and figure out who it is you're looking to talk to, who it is you're looking to reach. And then what is that intrinsic value that you bring to them? What is that intrinsic value that you as the shepherd, so to speak, bring to that community? Is it subject matter expertise? Is it research? Is it time? Is it consultancy? Is, whatever the case may be. Is it design, right? Again, is it merchandise that you start creating? Is it digital assets, ebooks and pamphlets and things like that? What is it that you bring special and specific to you that your community is willing to part with their hard-earned dollars with? Now, it takes a little bit of time to figure out what that is for everyone. For me, I mean, before I get into that, let me get into these comments right here. I see Mr. Cox is in the building. Appreciate you, sir, for being here. I'm not even monetized, and still I don't qualify, but Ecamm feels. There you go. There's one of those revenue streams right there. So Victor's not necessarily a part of the YPP, the YouTube Partner Program, but one of those tiers of monetization is affiliate relationships, brand relationships. There are some affiliate partner relationships that are quite lucrative, and he mentioned one specifically, the Ecamm Partner Program, and that one pays you in, should I say perpetuity? I don't know, but it pays you. It's not just a one-time shot. As long as the folks use your particular link to sign up for an annual plan, each time they renew, you get a little PayPal deposit. Well, that's like I might set up PayPal, but you get every time, as long as that person stays logged in and stays a recurring user utilizing your initial link, you continue to make that residual income from that. It's better than Amway, right? I'd rather get my residual income from Ecamm. Well, okay, let me not get in trouble here. Early Saturday morning. What is good with you, Chris Stone? Listen, man, you need to come on the show. Actually, you need to come on the show right now. Come on. You know the link. Come on in the front door, brother. What did I say? But Victor, I mean, that's a key point right there again, right? A lot of times we talk about what is the cost and the pay and the revenue that comes from Google, but creating merchandise. There are a lot of avenues to do something like that now from various platforms, and the cost of entry is just time. Now, I know time is probably the most valuable asset that we have, and when I say time, it's the creation of the site, it's the design creation, it's the pricing, right? It's all of the things that you as a business, as an entrepreneur, would have to do anyway. But you decide what you want. Let me get out of the way here. Right? And you decide what your shirts want to look like. You decide what your hats want to look like. Create the logo. Create the design. Decide on the designs that you want to use. What type of hoodie, what type of hat, snapbacks, dad hats. I got some dad hats. Where's the dad hat? Hold on. No, I don't have any in here because I'm not a dad hat guy, but other folks are. But you go through all of that administrative piece, and then you publish the site out, and then you communicate it to your community, and then you start getting revenue when you weren't probably expecting it, because again, folks, you're following the sun, and there are folks that you've got that are global within your community. They can log on at 2 a.m. your time and buy something off your site. So there you go. Something you weren't necessarily expecting. But again, you've set up that stream, that silo, that avenue and that aspect of your business to where you can continue to just build and create and design and have people reach out for it. Speaking back to the affiliate relationships and the brand relationships, talked about Ecamm, but listen, everyone shops on Amazon. Everyone. It takes speaking of Amazon, again, Mr. Chris Stone, very popular, very influential affiliate partner in the Amazon partner program. Someone comes to you and asks you for a recommendation for camera, for keyboard, lights, whatever the case may be. It doesn't even have to be electronic gear, just anything that's on Amazon. You shoot them your link, you get a piece of the revenue when they actually purchase. Here's the catcher with Amazon. If you just send somebody your link in Amazon, they don't necessarily have to buy that item right then and there. They go into Amazon from your link and start searching for other stuff. That cookie is still saved in their browser. And if you recommended them a microphone and they started searching around and they ended up on, I don't know, a fan. I see my Dyson fan over here. So I'm reaching for stuff right now. They start for a microphone, they start searching around and they find a fan, but they're still within that same session. You get revenue credit for that as well. Imagine that. So the possibilities are extremely lucrative in terms of you got to do the work. One, you got to put yourself out there. You have to tell folks who you are, what it is you do, what you stand for, who you have those relationships with, and that you're actually willing to help, that you're willing to provide some service. Because again, not everyone knows that you're there to provide service and to provide some consultation and things of that nature. You got to put out there. Neil, you owe me I'm going to put you on blast right here. You owe me an AI generated avatar. Came on your show, had a great time on your show. Hopefully I didn't cause too much trouble, but you owe me an AI avatar. Yeah. I'm going to leave that right there. I'm just letting that marinate too. Just a moment of silence there while everyone, text you while you're sitting there. You just thought you wanted to come on the show and have a good time and say hello, but no, I'm putting you on blast, right? I know. The pay is no matter where it comes from. What? The pay is what are you talking about? Come on, Michigan. Come in the store. So come on into the stream so we can have a conversation, brother. I'm not monetized yet because of the watch hours, but doing filming work and sometimes editing work, that makes some money. So again, I don't understand why you don't have the watch hours, Sammy. I watch your streams. I go back sometime and still watch some of the old stuff that you do because you're just a funny dude. You're a good cat. That watch hour time is going to come, but again, folks are seeing what you're doing. You're not necessarily waiting and relying on that. They're seeing that you're building cine rigs. They see that you know every single thing about microphones. They see that you've got every single Mac that was ever created, and see that you have some expertise from that technical perspective. So you're getting the outreach saying, Sammy, can you help me pick out a new microphone, what's the difference between dynamic and condenser? I almost bought that Neumann, and I was going to use your link. Remember, I was at B&H, standing in line. They had it. I was like, man, it was a couple of dollars. I'll just say that. It was a couple of dollars for that Neumann. But, and I got flustered because B&H will do that to you. But I decided not to buy it specifically for the reason that I wanted someone who I like to get credit for the purchase. If I bought it, I bought it. But then I wanted to come back, get somebody's link, affiliate link or something. So there you go. You'll know when I buy my Neumann. It'll be using your link, Sammy. What we got? That's the key. Do the work. You got to. You got to show up when no one else is showing up. You have to stay up late at night, early in the morning, but you still have to prioritize yourself. You have to still prioritize your family. You still have to prioritize health, well-being. You have to keep all of those things in check. And it's very difficult, but again, anything worth having, anything worth doing is going to take that bit of effort to find the time, not necessarily make the time. 20. What is it? I don't know. Florence knows. How many minutes are in a day? 1,400, something like that. Of that time that you've got, somebody in medicine said we're supposed to sleep 6, 7, 8 hours. That's a lot of hours, man. It's too much time that we won't get back. I don't want to get into a medical debate or anything like that, but I'm more around them. I'm more or less than that. I'll just say that. I won't tell you how. I won't let you see the bags that are under the eyes, but I will just say I'm less than that. But again, you got to put in the time, put in the work, things of that nature. So talked about diversifying streams from not just relying on the YouTube partner program. Talked about taking advantage of affiliate relationships, affiliate links. Talked about diversifying using merchandise, and it's not just hats, it's not just T-shirts, it's e-products as well. So again, e-pamphlets, PDFs, downloadable types of files, things of that nature. But really, where I'm starting to see more and more folks have success is in that expertise piece. Right, individual coaching, individual consultations, and charging their worth. Right, not just going out there and charging $10 an hour because they're hungry to get someone to come talk to them, or they're hungry to build up a catalog of clients. But if you've got expertise, if you know 10% more than the next person, charge that worth in terms of being able to give someone some expertise. If Sammy wanted to come and talk to me for 30 minutes, that's the shortest time. So I'm speaking of me, that's the shortest time that I have on my calendar. If Sammy wanted to come and talk to me, I'd give him a discount. But other folks would actually, there is a premium rate in terms of what I charge for a really directed conversation about solving a particular issue, a particular situation that's in your life. So that 35 minutes is actually $75. And in that 30 minutes, we are coming away with some type of plan of, we've already decided from a discovery conversation that it makes sense for us to have this conversation, and it makes sense for us to move forward. And there are action items that come out of that 30 minutes. I'm delivering to that person some actionable items to get them to a step down the road. It's not just a whole bunch of conversation, which is good, but it's actually, again, measurable action items for someone to move to that next step. And that's valuable because people pay attention to what they pay for. So if you book that consultation call specifically with me to have that conversation about what to do next, I may have some homework, but you're definitely going to have some homework. And there will be a follow-up conversation to ensure that that homework or that work was actually done. So there's the value, right? You're going to get value for your time and the money that you paid. I'm going to get value from, it's not all driven by the money necessarily for me, but what it is driven by is seeing others succeed, right? Seeing you get to that next level, seeing you have that aha moment, seeing you get to or get over a hurdle. I don't know everything, but I know a lot of folks. The Rolodex is deep. And if I can't help, Florence can help. Neil can help. Dr. Chris Stone can always help. Right. So I've got folks within various industries and various markets and various expertise that I can pull in to assist. So you're going to get a positive outcome from the engagement, from the interaction. And if you don't, from a moral perspective, I'm not going to take your money. I'm not telling everyone to do it that way either, but that's what you get when you come deal with me, right? Again, one of the additional aspects of being monetized as a creator. We all turn these lights on, we all press record, we all go live for whatever reason. But if I'm not, at the end of the day, bringing some type of a value, I'm just sitting here talking. All right, let me get back to these comments here. Neil, told you. Now you got Chris on you. Let me check my email real quick. See if I got a avatar or something. No, I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to put you on screen, but now you got Chris Stone on you. That's not a good thing. I know, Sammy. It's coming. It's coming, dude. You know, see, I got kids in college. I've got 2 kids that are in college like you. Daddy can't necessarily go out and buy all the things all the time. So I'm going to hold on that. That's some 7dB, brother. This is the dB. And you see the custom, hold on. Oh, you see that custom mic plate right there? Everything with an intent and purpose. Everything where it's supposed. You see how that, this is how wound I am. You literally see how and this isn't intentional as well. You saw how the mic plate lined up with the J hits on the screen back there. I shouldn't be like that, but I am. It's kind of your eyes follow everything there. So everything within this studio is set up the exact same way. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me see what we got going on here. Dr. Stone, appreciate you, brother. Come on now. We'll put that in the Michigan Fund there. We don't have Harbaugh anymore. Oh, who's our coach? Appreciate you though, brother. Good looking out. Walter Strong is in the building. Video topic idea to discuss in depth. Maybe you should cut that up, man, because I'm seeing what you're doing with the huddle, and you are locking back in. Right? You are doing the thing, and you're putting in the reps. And I think I sent you a message the other day, man. Your thumbnail game, bruh. Thumbnail game is ridiculous now. Right? You got layering down. You got your fonts down. You got it's very eye catching. So Walter Strong III, looking at what you're doing with the huddle, 2024 is going to be a great year for you, man. Sammy says, the real reason I haven't posted a full-length video working on another project. All right. Again, first for folks that don't know, the first time I met Sammy virtually was young man had a movie on Amazon Prime. I'm like, come on, dude. Really? I had to Google him for a second there. You can't find him. Because Sammy's like part of underground CIA or something like that. But first time I found him, he had a movie on Amazon Prime. So that's when I knew he was the truth. And literally, I think a week later, I contracted him to make some of my first Ecamm overlays. So shouts out to you, Sammy. Shouts out to you, brother. Yeah, brother. Thank you, man. It's not a squirrel moment because, again, bruh, everything in this room right now is. Let me just shut up. Thank you. Appreciate you for noticing the aesthetic piece of the production. Hopefully, the production isn't overshadowing the content, though. But yeah, maybe I should add as one of my revenue streams, studio design, studio aesthetic, things like that. And you can do it on a budget. Even though I didn't do it on a budget. God, I look at some of the stuff that's in here, and it actually costs a little bit to do. But if it's someone else's money I'm spending, we don't have to go all the way to the top shelf. We won't be drinking like Seagrams and Bacardi, but we'll be mid-level type stuff. Best thing I've learned is connections are more important than followers. Ooh. Best thing that I've learned, connections are more important than the followers. That's what it's all about right there. And you know what? And getting, like you say, getting in front of people. Not trying to do everything that we do by ourselves. Having what I call an inner circle. Having a sphere of influence. Even though I hate the word influence, I'm more of an advocate. I like that word. But having folks that you communicate with regularly, and you share ideas, you share thoughts, you hear the feedback, you hear the criticism, You hear the ideas such that they are actually looking out for your best effort and your best means while you reciprocate and you're doing the same thing, right? I would expect, so like I just gave props to Walter Strong about his thumbnail game. I would expect him at any time to say, hey, James, you know what? Your font selection, your color selection, your whatever the case may be, your mic presence, that kind of thing. Step it up just a little bit or do this instead of that. I'm noticing that, right? I would expect folks that are all in this chat right now as well to hit me up on IM or something, hit me up in the chat message and say, James, you know, you might want to do that. Those are the kind of folks you want to keep yourself around, because that also takes worry, stress, takes load off of your own shoulders. Because if you're going down one particular road and you think it's resonating, but you got folks in the comments, folks that are watching, folks that are listening, and they're saying, that audio was terrible. The video was terrible, right? Your screen is fluttering. He might be at the wrong frames per second. Or if I had been talking for 20 minutes now and I was actually muted, I would expect to look over here and see someone would have sent me a message to say, hey, James, you're on mute. Those kinds of things. I've been in sessions where people have waited for a long time while something was flawed with the particular production and no one said anything. And I'm like, you got to get around some better people than that. Got to get around some better people than that. Victor, I need you to get the, hold on. And you know what I'm going to talk about with you. What is it? The new Mevo, dude. Victor, how many of these you got? These Mevo, oh, what? $1,000. Hold on, man. Maybe not. Well, unless you got it like that. Mevo Core 4K Micro Four Thirds cameras, Logitech. It's just crazy to think that they got $1,000 camera, but NDI, Ethernet, USB-C, interchangeable lenses, the ability to sync multiple cameras together as well, portable, micro SD cards that you can actually plug into them. So think about going to specific events, taking one of these Mevo cores. Jeez, but that's $1,000. Hold on, man. That cannot be for one. That can't be for one. Hold on. Lord have mercy, it sure is. $4K 30. So I mean, that's, my goodness, though. That's $1,000. It's got all the bells and whistles. So, but it's crazy, and it's very interesting just to see that a product from Logitech is this cutting edge. Again, compact, portable, NDI, Ethernet, USB-C, all those connections, right? Was it Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, integrated SD card, and the fact that it's interchangeable Micro Four Thirds lenses. Thing will never go out of style. That thing will never go out of functionality and compatibility. That's a real investment right there. That's an interesting investment. Someone like you, Victor, hey, you are the Mevo guy. I'm expect to see you with a couple of those. I'm expect to see someone else in our community, Monty Weaver, who really is big on portability and really PTZ cameras. But this is an interesting entrant into the remote content creation marketplace. Let's see what we got, man. Yeah, man. $1,000. You know, even though I can get the B&H card, and they'll cover the tax. They'll cover they'll cover the sales tax, and they'll ship it to me for free. Right, I get free shipping. Gotta love that. But my gosh, for just one, I'd have some explaining to do. I would have some explaining to do. Yeah, man, $1,000, $1,000. Ecamm Creator Camp. You guys going this year? I saw Katie made the announcement that was it in like 30 more days they're going to have some of the logistics for the next one come out. I couldn't make it last year. I was literally had everything booked. Was going to go with my wife, bring her and let her meet all of you crazy folks. We had the whole agenda plan. We were going to go. I was going to go show her Boston because she hadn't seen Boston before. Then something happened. I can't remember what happened. Either something with the job or something with the kids, and that we had to take care of. We couldn't bob and weave out of it, but so literally had to pull out at the very last minute. But if the schedule works out, we'll be in Amherst, in Boston this year, hanging out with y'all. So we'll definitely be looking forward to that. Yeah, definitely looking forward to that, man. And obviously can't be that close to New York without that Adorama or B&H trip. So we'll do a field trip to B&H or something. And then right across the street from B&H is another cool spot that I like, Peloton. So I'll go hang out with my Peloton instructors. That's just what I'll do. I'll go in there by the Neumann and go across the street to Peloton and run all of that anxiety I had for spending that much money on a microphone. I'll run that off on a bike. There we go. Got it all planned out. 61 or 6400. 64 seems to be really that sweet spot. And so Sony has, but see, here's the deal with me. Here's my conversation with Sony. Sony has to do something to bring back the excitement in the lineup. Fuji is garnering all the headlines right now. Right? X100 6. That Fuji film, very small. Listen, I got that in my watch list too. Let me. Is this the 6? Yeah. This camera right here. And that silver too. At that price point. 40 megapixel. 35 millimeter full frame equivalent. It's a fixed lens, which is all good. But Fuji's making some noise with this particular camera right here. And the reason I said about Sony needing to do something, haven't seen anything in the last few months. In a long time. Specifically in this particular form factor, with this capabilities in terms of lens quality, in terms of just even having, this is what we want now. This is what we want from our cameras. We want a viewfinder. We want an EVF. We don't just want to look at the flip screen. And Sony's got to come out with something that is comparable not only in price, but comparable in capability and functionality that matches this Fuji. And that is why we see it so sold out everywhere. That is why the guy who we all know and love as well, who's close to a lot of the photographers, that's why Sean Boyd has all of them. He's got all of them. He's got all the Fuji X100. That's why we can't get them for, what is the wait time? 6 weeks? Last time I looked at it was like 6 weeks. Released in limited quantity. What's funny about this? Let me show you something. Hold on. In my cart. I don't know why. I just have it already in my cart. So I already know. Didn't say how long it would take to get here, but yeah, man. See, look at that. I got the Paybu card. So they're gonna take off the tax already. Man. And Shipping too. They're still going to take off the shipping too. Man. Willpower test right here, y'all. But I'm holding off. I want to stay all one brand, one vendor. I'm holding off until the summertime, hoping that I know Sigma's coming out with some lenses, some E-mount lenses. Hopefully Sony comes out with something again that's comparable. They've got to respond to this. They really do have to respond to this. And there is one little guy that they got. Where is it? Let's see here. Price, come on. Sony. I do this. What is it? It's the R. There it is. RX1. This camera right here, $3,300. 35 millimeter lens. F2. It's just not as sexy. It's just not as sexy as that Fujifilm, and for it to be twice the price. Yeah, it's 42 megapixels. Yeah, it's Sony, and it gives everything, keeps everything in the family. But when I put the specs side by side, left to right, look at the pros and cons, Fuji is winning, and the price point is dope. So $32.98. That's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard to. I can't do it. Can't do it. Yeah, right, Sammy. That's older, man. But that's the one. That's when you line them up and you try to be comparable to the two. That's the one that Sony has. And I'm not gonna look at anybody else. I'm got respect for Canon, but I'm not gonna look at Canon. I got respect for Nikon, especially they just acquired Red, so they know what they're doing as well. But I'm not a Nikon guy. I'm an old Pentax shooter, right? Old 35 millimeter film days, black and white cameras in the dark room. I'm an old Pentax shooter, but video, on the go, digital. That Fujifilm is hitting. I might have to raise the rates. That's what I'm gonna do. We were just talking about monetization. I may have to raise the rates just for a short time, so I can make that one right there. Make that one happen. No, I won't do that to you. Yeah, man. 20. See, there you go. And to Sony's credit, they've been building out the ZV lines. They've been building out the alpha lines, right? So they've been building out the hybrid lines and the FX lines. So they've been trying to do all of the things that matter to this new advent of video creators. Probably, if you think about it, since the pandemic, since when the world stopped and we couldn't go anywhere and we couldn't do anything, everyone built all these studios. And Sony said, you know what, let me build smaller, more compact APS-C and full frame cameras. Let me come up with some dope lenses. Let me come up with hybrid options as well. So I understand and I see where they focus their time, energy, and effort, because it was probably more lucrative there, more people buying there. But we're back now. We're back out in these streets, right? Me and the family, me and the wife got a handful of trips planned. So we're going to be on the East Coast. We're going to be, where am I going to be? I'm going to be in Vegas next week. Oh, y'all pray for me. I'm going to be in Vegas next week. But right, we're going to be out there and like to take some high quality pictures, not just using our phone. My phone is dope too, but I want to use something else. All right, let me look at these comments and then let me get back into what I was originally talking about. Because see, these are the squirrel moments that I have. Y'all pray for me. Y'all continue to remember that is who I am. So I started talking about making money as a content creator, not just relying on the partner program, having multiple streams from a merchandising perspective, from a consultancy perspective, from a value proposition side. So again, if you can put together a checklist, if you can put together a document of best practices, and you can actually monetize that and sell that to folks that come to your website that you own, not necessarily just the one that's on Facebook, not just the one that's on somebody else's social platform, but on your website that's your name, that you own, that's your .com or your .org. You do those things. Premium newsletters are a great avenue as well, right? Give folks a lot of content for free. Just give it to them. Be open and willing and engaging, and give folks a lot of stuff. I'll call it that, the one-on-one tier, one-on-one level. But then when they want to get even deeper, if they want to get even more specific, and they want to have specific content that's geared towards their particular need, 201, 301 level kind of thing, more expertise, that's where the premium tiers come in. That's when you start charging folks for, okay, yeah, I've given you the high levels. I've given it to you at a 35,000 foot level, but now here's how to land that plane. Let me give you some more specific type of information. And that's some things that you hold off to a premium tier. Don't expect that tier to be huge at the onset. Expect that tier to be focused. Expect that tier to be folks that are actually looking to garner that information, and not always having to go out to YouTube or Google or some search engine and searching for that information. They know that you've got that. You're going to provide it to them. So it's going to save them time, energy, and effort. People pay attention to what they pay for. So premium content from that perspective. On the YouTube side, I've experimented with this a little bit, but I don't know if I'm going to do it too much. Like streams like this, locking them down to only members. At least, so having member-only streams, having member and or subscriber streams where only those folks can comment and engage. I'm torn between that, right? I understand it from a marketing side, or from I don't know. I think that's the best way to put it, just from a marketing side. But by locking the engagement down to, you can't comment on this bit of information because you haven't clicked the notification bell, because you haven't subscribed. I've tried it a couple of times. I don't think it'll become a regular aspect of my business, of my deployment of what I do, but we'll see. Maybe, and also it depends on the content. It depends on the audience. It depends on the subject matter as well. If I'm bringing in someone who is hard to get in touch with, if someone who is incredibly sought after, someone who everyone's incredibly sought after. So you guys are all important. Everyone's important, but someone who it's tough to get on a stream or whatever the case may be. I'll either do that as a premiere, so record it ahead of time and then premiere it. But then something like that may be where only members would be notified of it ahead of time, and only subscribers will be allowed to comment. So again, it all depends on the situation, case by case. But from my view, my insight, my coaching is I wouldn't make that the default method of providing engagement and interaction with your audience and with your community, because that's something that we really want to do. Anyway, we want to have this engagement. I want to be looking over here, looking at the comments and engaging with folks. I want to see Dan as he comes in saying hello to everyone. I want to be able to bring his comment on the screen, even if he wasn't a subscriber to the channel. Dan, you're a subscriber to the channel, right? Okay. See, you come in, and I'm putting people on blast. I already put Neil on blast, so I'm putting you on blast too. But I know you are, man. I'm just giving you a hard time. The question there is the knowledge, engagement, or the money what matters most to you. It's a statement, Mr. Cox. But I'm also going to look at that as if you were asking me that. The question there is the knowledge and the engagement, or is the money what matters to you, matters the most to you? For a guy who doesn't like people, I'm selfish. And I actually like the engagement. For a self-identified introvert who can be sociable, but you know, I don't put myself out there too much. I do like and prefer this engagement. So I'm not necessarily driven by revenue conversations all the time. I'm more driven by being a liaison and being a conduit to you finding the information that you need. So you probably weren't even asking me the question, but I answered the question anyway. There we go. Sammy, what camera am I using now? Let me tell you what I've done, man. Here, sit down for a second, brother. Let me tell you what I've done. I've gone back to APS-C. I had the ZV-E1 here. I had the ZV-E1, right? Full frame Sony. My problem with the Sony ZV-E1 was overheating. And do I still have... obviously I don't have it anymore because I took it down. And I used to have that little Ulanzi fan on the back of the camera to keep it from overheating. That is so janky. Listen, paid $3,000 for camera and didn't have to attach a $50 fan to it to keep it from overheating. So I returned it. I'm back to the old trusty, old faithful ZV-E10 APS-C. I got the Sony 20 millimeter lens. Right now it's only at f2. I used to have it at 1.4, but I've updated and I've changed some things with my lighting to get it to exactly where I want it to. So I've got the 20 millimeter lens APS-C on the ZV-E10, and this is where I'm gonna stay. So now I wish I hadn't sold that FX30 that I had. I wish I hadn't sold that FX30, but that's exactly the reason why I went back, because this camera stays mounted, not 90%, not 95%, 100% of the time. Does not move. Right? Stays right there inside this Elgato prompter. So why have a $3,000 camera back there? Why not just get a very good camera with a very good lens and then get the light right? Thanks, Victor. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, it's dope. It's dope. Knowing exposure triangles, knowing lighting, knowing how to set things kind of the right way makes it look pretty dope, pretty good. It's all of 3 feet away from me, so yeah, it's not like it's got to focus too far on me. And thanks, man. Appreciate you. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I have. Can I say did I partner with Elgato? I don't know. I working a little bit with Elgato. Got some things from Elgato, and I should probably do some videos on them. But I've got a couple of their Facecam Pros mounted in here. I got one right here. Let me see if it's on. It's always bad to do some things on the fly. That's not it. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's why this doesn't have my LUT on it. What happened? But this is a Facecam Pro right here. Holy smokes! I should put the LUT on here. But anyway, that's pretty dope, right? That's 4K 60 webcam. Not bad as well. Oh my gosh, that's what the room actually looks like right here in here with the lighting. I was taken aback a little bit. Oh my God. Uh, in a studio environment like this, where the APS-C camera looks amazing, use those other more expensive cameras out and about. They can see. There you go. That's exactly why I'm talking about getting the Fuji $1,600 camera and actually taking that out when I go to events. This is okay. I got to put my LUT back on here because I now have that distinct look of that flat matte look. Hold on. Let me go back to my other camera, man. This is. See, Sony, you know too much, Sammy. You know too much. You know too much. A little studio blur on here, yes. So hold on. But that's what that is right there. That's the Elgato Facecam Pro. Man, hold on. All right, let's here we go. See the kind of the matte, blued out look with my lookup table, my LUT. I've become accustomed to this as opposed to what the room actually looks like. And he put me out there on blast talking about the Apple Blur. Yeah, I turn off reactions, but yeah, I've got studio lighting and I've got the little fake bokeh. I got fake bokeh everywhere, but I got real bokeh on this camera right here. Most films aren't on full frame. Most are APS-C, and that is why I picked up the FX30. If you know how to work your gear, you actually read the instruction manual. If you learn light composition, if you learn the exposure triangle, if you learn how to white balance, if you learn all the things for all this expensive gear that you buy, you can make. Ansel Adams back in the day, what was he shooting on? Was he shooting on Pentax? I bought a Pentax, but again, he was shooting on whatever. And those images are in museums. Classic movies that came out that I don't know if, was it 300? First time I saw 300 on Blu-ray. Or even, what was the Will Smith movie shot at like a ridiculous frame rate? It looked cartoonish that it was so authentic. It didn't look real. But again, that was before we had all of these 8K upsampling 422. All that. You can make a legacy piece of gear look pretty decent, and you can stand out above the noise. All right, I'm rambling. I'm going down the line, but I wanted to make sure I talked about that. I talked about making money from your content, platforms for sharing content, and analytics. I think I'll save that for next time because TubeBuddy, VidIQ, what's the other one? TubeBuddy, VidIQ, got it loaded. ViewStats. There's 3 platforms out there that are giving some insane analysis to information about your content and about who's seeing your content, when they're seeing your content, what they're looking for when they watch your content. And the cost of entry is relatively slim. And if you're not using something like that, I'd be curious to have the conversation with you next week about what are you using and or why are you not using? Because for 2 of those platforms that I mentioned, they're free to an extent. ViewStats is free and TubeBuddy is free up until you have, I think it's 1,000 subscribers. So you can actually get the analytics, you can get the A/B testing, you can get thumbnail generation, you can get auto chapter insertion, description, YouTube description assistance, things like that. You can get all that for free up until even before you get to 1,000 subscribers. So there's no excuse. Now, VidIQ is going to cost you a little bit of money, but their suite of services is much more robust. It is. I've got both platform. I've got all three of those platforms I just mentioned running within my environment. So I got ViewStats running the MrBeast tool that he and his team put together. I've got, well, I still got a year subscription of TubeBuddy. That's why that's still running. But I also have the year subscription of VidIQ that I just recently went back to. But both of those platforms really makes sense in terms of helping you get insight into how your content is performing and how to maybe elevate that. So I want to get into that next week. I got to change my analogy because I'm getting ready to say it again. You know, it's kind of the crack dealer thing. Give you a little bit today, make it come back later for some more information. Somebody help me with a different analogy. That's going to get me banned in all kind of locations. So I got to come up with something else. Lens is the most important thing. There it is, brother. Pay for that glass. Pay for that prime glass too. Especially again, if it's all of 3 feet away from you. I don't need to zoom. On a Sony camera, I can use clear image zoom, so I always use optical zoom and don't dive into that digital zoom area where we start having artifacts and things of that nature. But get you a nice wide zoom, nice wide and fast zoom, something down to at least a 1.8, 1.4, 1.2. Yeah. Probably not necessarily because you can adjust your f-stop. You can adjust your ISO. You can adjust some of those things, but you don't necessarily have to go down to a 1.4 or 1.2. But at minimum a 1.8 to 2.2, 2.4. That's the top end right there. So minimum would be the 2.2 down to 1.8. Somewhere within that range of a prime lens for any studio environment. I garner to say for any studio environment, regardless of how far you are from the camera, how far you are from the screen. 20 millimeter, 16. Listen, let's talk about that. Again, what are you using in your studio? You see, I'm using that webcam, but that's as a secondary view right there, and that's hardly ever used. But once I dial that in and put my correct LUT on that, hopefully that'll look dope too, man. Let me see here. Neil, VidIQ has come up. They were already pretty nice, but recently they've come up with some really cool. Hold on, what time is my next meeting? Oh my gosh. Because again, I'll get to. Okay, I still got a couple minutes. Let me see here. Let me log into VidIQ. And what's going on, man? All the way from Ireland. I see you, man. Appreciate you for being here, sir. Appreciate you for being here. Why is it making me log back in? Let's get to. All right, we'll just walk this through together. Am I logged in? Yeah. All right, so competitors, keyword search, AI generation. Literally about a year ago when VidIQ came out with this AI content generator for YouTube, I would literally put in a prompt. This was right when ChatGPT and Perplexity and Voila and all of those large language models were really starting to become popular. I would put in a prompt here and it would spit out a really good script for creating content. And I'd add my own flair to it. I'd do my own little ad lib into it, but breaks, comments, suggestions for putting in imagery and things like that. VidIQ has gotten to a point where not just for videos, but now look at that. It actually will give you the information for creating a short. All right, let's do this. Hold on. Let's be bold. So create a short, create a video about best practices for creating content for Instagram. All right. So that's the prompt. Best practices for creating content for Instagram and create a short. Let's see what this comes up with. Gives us the title. Get more likes on Instagram with these tips. Description. Want to up your Instagram game and get more likes on your posts? Check out this quick video for some tips and tricks on creating engaging content, blah, blah, blah. Keyword suggestion, imagery from a background side. VidIQ just gave me everything. If I didn't want to talk about it, if I was maybe sick and my voice wasn't there today, don't worry about that. Oh, the whole script is there. Oh, if I wanted to do a faceless channel or a faceless bit of content, there it is right there. 30-second voiceover right there. I may actually use this. This is how advanced these platforms have become. I put in that very simple prompt. Said I wanted to make a short about best practices for creating content for Instagram. It's given me not just a title, it's given me a pretty good description. It's given me some, I don't even want to say viral keywords, but some relevant keywords. Some pretty intriguing looking backgrounds. And I can get some more here if I needed to. I can have it regenerate these. Giving me the script, and it's also giving me a voiceover. Now, obviously, for me, I wouldn't use it verbatim. Like I said, I would ad lib, I would add my own to it. But if I didn't feel like it, if I just wanted to put out some content to fill up my content calendar, making sure that it's relevant, not just putting out garbage and not just putting mess out there. Y'all saw, took all of 15 seconds. Don't sleep on this, y'all. Don't sleep on VidIQ. My goodness. Yeah, Sammy, get into this, man. I know we got a lot of cats, a lot of folks that are old school TubeBuddy folks. I love TubeBuddy too. TubeBuddy called me a few months ago, and I was part of a research project that they put together, and I said, man, y'all gotta keep iterating. Y'all gotta keep your eye on what's going on. You got competitors coming around the block, and they are doing things just faster and smoother and slicker than you are. You just got to keep going. So I gave them that feedback. And lately, I within the last week, I saw some changes to TubeBuddy. When they changed the font, changed the color scheme. They did some things. They did do some. I'm not going to bash them. They did some things underneath the hood where they looked like they have started to add more AI functionality and capability, but they are still 5 feet behind VidIQ because I can't do what I just did just now in VidIQ with TubeBuddy. I'm gonna turn that into a short here today. Huh? There we go. We'll get the avatar over to you soon. It's been, no, dude. I'm gonna need 2 now. No, I'm sorry. Neil, I'm just messing with you, man. I'm just messing with you, man. I appreciate you, brother. I was just joking with you. I saw you online, so I had to give that to you. Great session as well with Mary Lou over there on the was it the creators advocate? Man, I apologize. I don't remember the full name of the channel, but I watched it. I did watch it. So good show that you guys did with Mary Lou. Yeah, VidIQ is the way to go. And again, I keep an eye out. I'll give a trade secret of mine away. Some of you guys may know it as well. I hate paying. Strong word. I prefer not to pay subscriptions, but I understand the rationale and the need to pay subscriptions because, again, that feeds and that finances developers and growth, things like that. So I like to go early on, actually, with some of these software and hardware platforms and go with like a lifetime deal. So AppSumo has been some folks that I've worked with a lot of companies that have been on AppSumo. Heck, Ecamm started on AppSumo. A couple of y'all were lucky enough early on in the day to get Ecamm for a one-time price. So there's some real gems out there. That being said, there's been a couple of companies that have positioned and propped up on AppSumo, touting themselves as also primarily YouTube analytical platforms to pull out and garner some of that information, pull out and identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, things like that within your channel, and how you can grow your audience, grow your visibility, do all the things that you want to do, right? So, but no one that I know of yet is close to ViewStats, VidIQ, and TubeBuddy. Take a look at them. I'll drop my links in the description so y'all can check it out, because I believe if you use my link, you may get, I don't know, a couple of days free or something like that, or 2% off of the annual subscription, something like that. I'm being facetious, but it'll give you a little something. Any more questions? Creative amplifiers. Man, see, help me out. I'm sorry. Gosh. It's only my first cup. Only my first cup of coffee. Shouts out to you, Rob Balasabas. Uscreen. Huh? Uscreen. Great alternative for owning that mortgage, owning that land, having another membership site. Just saying. A lot of stuff's going on right now. A lot of you have groups and pages on Facebook. You all got the notice. You all saw it pop up in your timeline this past week as a reminder that come next month, can't live stream into Facebook groups using third-party platforms. And it's not just Ecamm. Good Lord, I've been looking at the Ecamm community page on Facebook. When's Ecamm going to fix that? It's not Ecamm. It's not Restream. It's not StreamYard. It's not BeLive. It's Facebook saying that they are changing their API, which currently allows third-party tools, third-party encoders to live stream into Facebook groups. There's ways around it. There's it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going away. You just have to do it natively to Facebook, or understand the pros and cons, but because you can still live stream into, after the API change, you can still live stream into Facebook groups using an RTMP connection. But pro and con of that is, pro, you can still do it. They'll see you. You just can't collect all the comments and distribute and display all the comments. So, yeah, you get to have the video experience and you get to have the conversation one to many, but you can't engage. So, RTMP will work, but it doesn't pull comments. That's why you got to own your own content, folks. You got to own your own destination. All right, let me see what's going on. I'm going to bring this plane in. So many users free. Yeah, bruh. It's crazy. But it's a good wake-up call, too. I think this is one of those evolutions in the creator ecosystem that makes folks reconsider what matters most and where matters the most for where they share their information, right? How much do you put on YouTube? How much do you put on your own website? How much do you put on these separate social media platforms? Do you have to be out on all the social media platforms? Does your content really need to be on LinkedIn? Does your content really need to be on TikTok? I can't answer that question. You have to answer that question. Now, we can have a conversation and whiteboard it out for you. That's that consultancy fee that I'll do. And you'll leave with that homework. You'll leave with that action item. But again, you have to answer that yourself, and we can come up with an avenue. We can come up with an action plan for you for that. But now is really the time to start considering that and start thinking about that. There was one thing that I wanted to do before I did leave. Let's see here. That's people not understanding how things work on the back end. Boom. There you go, brother. You know, I work in enterprise IT all day, every single day. So I have literally wheeled more storage arrays into the Meta / Facebook data center. I have wheeled more storage arrays into at least one of Tesla's data centers back in the day. I have deployed servers that were part of the initial production farm for Twitter. So I know how this stuff works. I literally built the cage, and I didn't build it. I designed the cage in the data center here in Northern California, where Twitter resides. I designed the cage, rolled in some of the servers, and then had all the other folks do the cabling, the racking, and stacking. But I own the Visio for what that initial cage looks like. So yeah, been around the block a couple of times, man. I just created video that Neil's out here putting in value. I just created a video that details how to use RTMP and Social Stream Ninja. Yes, Social Stream. So that right there, there's value in that. I would actually say that there's a premium value in that because Social Stream Ninja is very command line specific. It's a very technical piece. It's a very technical plugin to use. At least it was the first time I looked at it, right? Heck, Sammy, I even think I worked with you on that when I was initially having some issues with that. Kirk Nugent was the first one who told me about it, and then Sammy, I worked with you. But I mean, that's a way as well to get all of your comments in from Amazon, from LinkedIn, from all the platforms that you work with. Social Stream Ninja, good tool right there. So cool on that, Neil. I'll look for that, and we'll send me the link. And I'll put it in the description when I wrap up here. Yes, you can take virtual cam and you can still stream into Facebook. Right. But again, there's just at least in your personal profile and pages, who knows exactly what the specifics are of this API change though. So that's a bit of the conversation right there. And who knows, right, when Ecamm launches and releases Zoom integration, there may be some bits and pieces within that address some of this conversation as well. So we'll see on that. I don't know. I'm not part of that early insider beta team. Be nice though, but we'll see. I'm not gonna be. This is one thing that I wanted to show for my Apple folks, and I just saw this the other day. Let me do this. Bring this up right here. This is there's been questions about discoverable by others within the iOS platform. Discoverable by others, especially for the Journal app, the new Journal app that's come out. Journal from Apple is their take on Day One, Stoic. Who else has a cool Journal app? You get what I'm talking about right there. But by default, Apple has on this feature called Discoverable by Others. Now, Apple prides themselves, as they say, and I'm an Apple fanatic. I'm part of the cult of Mac. I worked for Apple for 10 years. I had one of those infamous one-on-ones with Mr. Jobs as well. We can talk about that offline. We can talk about that over a bourbon anytime you want to. So they pride themselves on being secure. They pride themselves on having all transactions, all processing happening local to the device, and it doesn't go out to iCloud. It doesn't get seen by Apple. Anything that does go out is encrypted. All right, they say that up front, day one. However, Apple likes to think for you a lot of times, likes to give you things that you think you need before you need it. Like, think about when they took the headphone jack out of the iPhone. We were all up in arms about that. Man, you took my headphone jack, but now look, we can't even think about walking around with wired headphones anymore. All right, think about that right there. In case of the one specific instance of the Journal app, the discoverable by others option really is for providing suggestions and providing recommendations to you as a person using the Journal app to say, you were at an event with these 5 people that are already in your contacts. Here's a suggestion that you may want to add into your next journal entry. It doesn't tell you who those 4 or 5 people necessarily were. It just says you were in close proximity. You were discoverable by others that you have some type of relationship with, meaning they were in your contact list. You've made a phone call, right? You've got some bit of information about them on your device. So Apple sees that. It's kind of like a encrypted airdrop. I don't know. That's my analysis. Needless to say, there's ways of turning that off because it's on by default. Go into settings, go down to, of all things, privacy and security, and then scroll down to the journaling app for journaling suggestions, and then turn off what's called discoverable by others. Now, all that really does is maybe give you a little bit of peace of mind, but what it also does is make your journaling suggestions less specific. So again, I'm out to dinner with someone. I'm at dinner with Kevin Cox. If I have discoverability by others turned on, that night when I get back home, it says, oh, you were at this restaurant with someone within your contact list. Do you want to share a picture? Do you want to write about that event? No, right? Journal will give you that recommendation. If I have it turned off, it would just know that I was at a restaurant. Do I want to write about it and share? It doesn't necessarily know that someone within my circle was with me. Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that brings some value. I wanted to share that because, again, a lot of folks are, and rightfully so, are concerned about privacy, concerned about security, concerned about their information going out. And anything you write in Journal does, again, stay local to the device, does not go to Apple. So you're good on that. You can talk all the bad stuff you want to about your employer, as long as it's your own phone and they're not watching it. But so there you go. Let me see here. Not part of the Facebook group problem, just thinking out loud. Yeah, man. We'll see. I think it's April 21st when the API change actually happens. So we'll see what happens with that side. Did I get all of the questions? Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Technologist Forum really is about just coming in unscripted for the most part. I got like 3 bullet points of the stuff that I wanted to talk about, and I did cover all 3, but it's really about engaging with the community here, having dialogue back and forth, specifically and primarily around the content creation ecosystem and how we can all get better together, how we can kind of get out of our own way, how we can stop blaming gear, stop blaming fear, stop blaming others and ourselves for not doing what it is that we may be called to do. Again, I'm not going to profess ever to have all the answers. I'm going to profess to, again, know folks who can help with the answer. I'm pretty good at searching stuff around too as well. So we can go through examples. We can go through situations together like we just did with the VidIQ thing. Man, that VidIQ thing was tight. Man, hold on. I'm about to blow up my shorts calendar right now with some of this new. Y'all better check out VidIQ. All right, I'll leave that alone. Appreciate y'all. Let's get together again next time. Like I said, I'm traveling. I'm going to Vegas Monday for a conference. Probably do some content out there as well. Hit me up if you guys want me to talk about something different on the Technologist Forum. If you want to be on the Technologist Forum, this platform is open to all of you because I think we do better when we learn from each other, and I'd love to have some different perspectives. Until then, y'all be good to yourself. We out.